It's not just your car payment. It's both of them. Think about your last regular month for a second. The first of the month hits, you're having coffee, maybe rushing to get the kids ready. Your phone buzzes. Auto loan, $502.13, processed. Auto loan, $447.89, processed. You sigh, mentally note that almost $950 just vanished in 10 seconds. And then go on with your day. Later that week, the insurance payment hits. Another $210 gone. Gas? 2 cars, commuting, kid drop-offs, weekend errands. Easily another $300 to $350. Oil change for one, new tires on the other because they're balding and you're not trying to die on the highway? Toss in another $60 to $80 per month averaged out. By the end of the month, when you actually added up, your normal, middle-class family transportation situation looks like payments, $500 plus $450 is almost equal to $950. Insurance, $200. Gas, $300. Maintenance, $75. Total, right around $1,500 a month. That is $18,000 a year. Just to keep 2 vehicles in the driveway and moving. And the wild part? You probably feel like you're just doing what responsible parents are supposed to do. Reliable car for you, reliable car for your partner. Kids to school and activities. Commutes covered. No one stranded. You're not buying luxury toys. You're not flexing a Lambo on Instagram. You're just normal. But then, late at night, you're staring at your bank account thinking, we make okay money. Why does it feel like we're always 1 or 2 bad months away from panic? And if we pulled up a graph of your life, it might look like this. Income line slowly climbing over the years. Car costs line staying thick and high the whole time. Savings line basically flat. That right there is the 2-car garage trap. My name is Alex, and I spend way too much time thinking about how totally normal middle-class decisions, like financing 2 sensible cars, quietly keep families broke for decades. If you've ever thought, once we get rid of these car payments, everything will feel easier, but somehow there's always another car payment. This is for you. Because in this video, we're going to break down the real 10-year cost of a typical 2-car setup, $500 and $450 payments, insurance, gas, maintenance. Compare that to what would happen if you took even half of that money and invested it for your family's future instead. Look at some alternative setups. 1 new, 1 used. 1 car plus Uber/rideshare. 1 nice car plus 1 cheap beater. And what those do to your finances. Talk about the emotional side. Why buying safe, reliable cars for the family feels like the right thing, but often burns your kids' future wealth. And finish with 3 simple rules. 1. How big your car payments should be as 8% of take-home pay. 2. When a second car actually makes sense. 3. A step-down strategy to escape the 2-car trap over the next 5 to 7 years without blowing up your life. By the end, I want you to look at your driveway, not with guilt, but with clarity, and maybe with a plan. Alright, let's start with the math nobody wants to do on a Sunday afternoon. 1. The normal 2-car family. Let's build a very average, very relatable picture. We've got 2 adults. Maybe 1 or 2 kids. Both parents work. They live in a typical American suburb where, realistically, public transportation is a joke. Their cars. Car number 1, a $30,000 to $35,000 SUV or crossover, financed for 72 months about $500 per month. Car number 2, a slightly cheaper sedan or compact SUV, financed for 72 months about $450 per month. Nothing crazy. These are the exact cars filling school drop-off lines all over the country. Their costs look like this. Payments, $500 plus $450 equals $950 per month. Insurance, $200 per month for full coverage on both. Gas, $300 per month, commutes plus errands plus kid activities. Maintenance/repairs, average out to maybe $75 per month, tires, oil, brakes, random stuff. Total, $1,525 per month. Round it down to $1,500 if you want to be generous. That's $18,000 a year. Now, most middle-class households in this situation might have a combined take-home pay of, say, $6,000 per month. So just transportation is eating 25% of their after-tax income. For something that is going down in value every year, will be worth a fraction of its price in 7 to 8 years, and needs to be replaced again after that, and again after that. I'm not saying, get rid of every car and bike to work with 3 kids. I'm saying, if a quarter of your take-home pay is permanently tied up in something that's losing value, maybe that's worth questioning. Because over time, this doesn't just cost $1,500 a month. It costs you what that money could have been doing instead. 2. 10 years of 2 cars versus 10 years of investing half. Let's extend this out over a 10-year horizon, because that's how long most families will cycle through at least one, probably 2, sets of vehicles. Scenario A. The normal 2-car life. Monthly cost, $1,500. Annual cost, $18,000. Over 10 years, $180,000 spent on car payments, insurance, gas, and maintenance. That number already hurts. But remember, at the end of those 10 years, what do you have? 2 cars that are likely worth, maybe, $7,000 to $10,000 each if you're lucky, say $15,000 to $20,000 total. And the knowledge that you're about to start this whole cycle again with new loans. So you've spent $180,000 over a decade and have, let's be generous, $20,000 in depreciated metal to show for it. Net, about $160,000 has just evaporated. Now let's look at a slightly different path. Scenario B, same family, same life. But they decide to pull back. Same incomes. Same suburb. They still need 2 vehicles. But they make one key decision. We're going to cut our total car cost from $1,500 per month to $1,000 per month. And we're going to invest the $500 difference every single month for 10 years. How might they do that? Car number 1, keep a decent, newer family car at $400 to $450 per month. Car number 2, drive a fully paid off, older, but reliable car instead of financing another $450. Be a bit more intentional about driving, combined trips, shorter commutes, etc., to shave $100 or so off gas/insurance. Total transportation cost drops to around $1,000 per month. Not zero. Not crazy deprivation. Just smaller. No. They invest $500 per month for 10 years. That's $6,000 per year, $60,000 over the decade. If that money earns an average of 8% a year in a simple index fund, after 10 years, it could grow to somewhere around $90,000 to $95,000. So, scenario A. Spend $180,000 on cars, end up with maybe $20,000 of vehicles. Scenario B. Spend $120,000 on more modest transportation. Invest $60,000, end up with $90K. $95K invested plus 2 cars, one older, one newer. That's a $70,000 plus swing in net worth. From one household. In one decade. Now imagine if, when their income went up over those 10 years, they pushed that $500 to $700 or $800. Or, what happens if they go even more aggressive? Scenario C, the 1-car family, where possible. I know this won't work for everyone. But humor me for a second. Same couple decides. We technically could make it work with 1 main car and a cheap backup, ride sharing, or car sharing when needed. They keep 1 solid family car with a $400 per month payment for a few years, then pay it off and keep driving it. A true beater backup they bought in cash for a couple thousand, or they arrange schedules, or one partner works remote. They manage to get total monthly transportation down to, say, $800 per month on average. Now they're freeing up $700 a month compared to the original $1,500. Investing $700 per month for 10 years at 8%? $8,400 per year. $84,000 contributed across the decade. Grows to somewhere around $125,000 to $130,000. Same family. Same city. Just less ego in the driveway. That $125,000 isn't just numbers on a screen. That's college fund money. We're not terrified of emergencies money. One of us can change careers or start a business money. We don't have to panic at 55 money. And the most brutal part. Most families could do scenario B or some version of it. But they feel like they're failing if they don't have a nice late model SUV for each parent. With all the safety tech and leather seats. In a neighborhood where that's what everyone drives. Which brings us to the emotional side of this trap. 3. Why 2 new cars feels responsible, even when it's not. No one wakes up and says, let's ruin our long-term finances with our car choices. Especially not parents. You're thinking, I need something safe to drive the kids in. We both work, we need 2 reliable cars. I grew up with junk cars breaking down, my kids aren't going through that. All very understandable. Dealers and lenders know this. That's why the ads and the sales scripts lean hard on safety. Don't you want the latest safety features for your children? Reliability. You can't afford to be stranded. This new car comes with a warranty. Normalcy. Everyone with kids needs a good SUV for all their gear. It's not just selling you metal. It's selling you the feeling of being a good parent. Meanwhile, the numbers under the surface are not so wholesome. Because if you ask those same parents, hey, would you like an extra $100,000 to $200,000 for your kid's future, in exchange for driving one older car and one normal used car over the next 10 years instead of 2 new ones? Almost all of them would say, of course. But the decision doesn't show up in that clear comparison. It shows up as, well, the payment's only $450 a month. And the salesman says that's normal? At our income level, we can afford it. Well, just cut back a little on other stuff. You upgrade car number 1. Because of the baby. You upgrade car number 2. Because the old one was unreliable. Then, 5 years later, you repeat the cycle. And quietly, every 10-year block of your working life burns another potential $70,000 to $150,000 of net worth on nicer trim packages and that new car smell. All while you're stressing about student loans, college savings, retirement, emergency funds. The 2-car garage trap doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like being normal and doing the right thing. Until you look at the math. 4. Alternative steps that don't torch your future. Let's get practical, because I'm not about to tell a 2-income family in a car-dependent suburb. Just have no cars, obviously. Here are a few setups that often make way more sense than 2 newish financed cars forever. Option 1, 1 new-ish, 1 used paid off. This is the sane middle ground for a lot of people. 1 main family car that's newer, safe, has good reliability ratings. Maybe you bought it CPO, certified pre-owned, at 2 to 3 years old instead of brand new. 1 secondary car that's older and paid off, maybe 8 to 12 years old, but in good mechanical shape. The goal: total car payments between $0 to $400 per month, not $900 to $1,000. Insurance a bit lower because 1 car isn't worth much. You're still a 2-car family, just not a 2-loan family forever. Yes, the older car might not be fun. It might not impress anyone. But every month that second car doesn't have a payment, that's $300 to $500 staying in your wallet. Over 5 years, that's $18,000 to $30,000 before investment growth. Option 2, 1 main car plus cheap backup/ride share. If one partner works from home, or has a very short commute, or your area has decent ride share options, you might be able to have 1 solid main car. Use a cheap beater, shared car, bike, or Uber occasionally for the second adult. Even shaving your total monthly transportation from $1,500 $1,000 can, like we showed, free $500 per month. Use that to kill debt. Build an emergency fund. Then invest. Option 3, short-term sacrifice, long-term freedom. Sometimes the right move is a short, we're gonna look a little broke season. Sell 1 expensive car. Replace it with something cheap and paid off. Funnel the freed-up payment into savings plus catching up on retirement. Yes, people might notice you downgraded. Yes, your ego will hate it for a minute. But your future self, and your kids at 18, 25, 40, will not care that you had a 2016 instead of a 2022. They will care that you had a college fund, a solid retirement, the ability to help with emergencies, less stress in the house. Nice cars are loud, but money in the bank is quiet. 5. 3 rules to escape the 2-car garage trap. Let's put all this into a simple framework you can actually use. Rule 1, car payments as % of take-home pay. A good, solid guideline. Your total car payments, for all vehicles, should be less than or equal to 10% of your monthly take-home pay. Your total transportation costs, payments plus insurance plus gas plus maintenance, should be less than or equal to 15 to 20%. So if your household takes home $5,000 per month, max total car payments is almost equal to $500. Max all-in car cost is almost equal to $750 to $1,000. If you're currently at $900 in payments, $1,500 all in. And you're wondering why you feel squeezed? You have the answer. Rule 2, when a second car is actually justified. A second car can be completely logical if both adults have jobs in different directions, with no real way to share one. Public transit is non-existent. Schedules don't overlap enough to car share. The second car truly enables more income than it costs, for example, allowing a partner to work instead of stay home purely because of transportation. But ask yourself honestly, if transportation were magically free and easy tomorrow, would our income go down if we only had 1 car? If the answer is no, if the second car is more about convenience, avoiding a little schedule juggling, not wanting to ask for rides, Then that second car is a luxury, not a necessity. And luxuries are fine, if they fit comfortably inside your financial plan. If they don't, that's where the trap lives. Rule 3. The 5 to 7 year step-down strategy. If you realize you're in deep, heavy payments, both cars fairly new, feeling stuck, you don't have to fix it overnight. Think in 5 to 7 year chunks. Race a step-down plan. Year 1 to 2, stabilize. Stop upgrading. No new leases. No rolling negative equity into the next car. Build a 1 to 2 month emergency fund so repairs don't go on credit cards. If possible, refinance to slightly lower payments or rate, but don't extend the term into eternity. Year 2 to 4, kill one payment. Target the smaller of the two loans or the one closer to being paid off. Throw any extra money at it, tax refunds, bonuses, side gig money. When it's done, keep the car and redirect that freed payment to savings/investments. Now you're a 2-car family. 1 payment household. Year 4 to 7, plan the replacements smartly. When it's time to replace the other car, don't jump to another $500 plus payment. Use the time you've had with only one payment to save up a larger down payment, or buy a reliable used car in cash. Keep your total car payments at or below that 10% of take-home rule. Every time you make a replacement choice that's smaller than what the dealer says you can afford, you're breaking a link in the chain. 5 to 7 years might sound long, but those years are going to pass anyway. You can spend them rolling one 72-month loan into another, always feeling tight. Or gradually shrinking your car obligations until they fit into your life instead of running it. 6. One last question for you and your driveway. When this video ends, I want you to do something really simple and really uncomfortable. Open a note or grab a piece of paper and write down. 1. In the last 10 years, how many cars have you owned or leased? 2. Roughly how much did you pay in total in monthly payments, insurance, major repairs? You don't have to get perfect, just ballpark it. Maybe that number is $60,000, $90,000, $120,000 plus. Then ask, if for that entire decade we had spent 20 to 30% less on cars and invested the difference, how different would our net worth look right now? And harder, was driving the cars we had actually worth the gap? No shame, no beating yourself up. Just honesty. Because the 2-car garage trap is powerful precisely because no one ever stops to ask those questions. You're told 2 nice cars equals normal. 2 nice cars equals responsible. 2 nice cars equals what good parents do. But in reality, for a lot of middle-class families, 2 big payments equals no emergency fund. 2 big payments equals no college savings. 2 big payments equals no retirement plan. 2 big payments equals constant money stress. Your kids don't need 2 new cars in the driveway. They need calm parents, less financial stress in the house, a future where mom and dad aren't working until 75. You don't have to sell everything and go full minimalism. You just have to stop letting car companies, banks, and other people's expectations decide how much of your life you trade for metal. The 2-car lifestyle doesn't have to be a trap. If you run the numbers and make a plan, it can just be a choice. And once it's a choice, you get to decide. What matters more, how upgraded my driveway looks for the next 5 years? Or how upgraded my family's future is for the next 50?